It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. We're going to do one final run of Season 7 Cookie Alliance and show you what teams we're using and why we're using them. So I'm going to explain them as we go through to show you what's happening and what the plan is. Now, with the magic candy that came out for these cookies, one of the most interesting ones is Purple Yam and some of the abilities that he's getting. So some of the nice stuff that happens for Purple Yam because of the magic candy is that he is getting a damage resistance buff as well as a debuff resistance buff. So what's nice about that is that any stuns, any freeze, anything like that, he's getting out of much quicker because he has a high debuff resistance thanks to the magic candy. But in addition, he gets a critical boost, he gets an attack boost, he gets an attack speed boost, all of that thanks to that setup. And because of Season 7's specific buffs, we are getting the charge cookies to have higher critical chance and a higher critical damage as well. So, I mean, even if we stop right here and show the damage, Purple Yam's already done 6.4 million damage because of that setup. And his toppings are an almond setup, but that's what's so interesting is that he is just pushing through the masses in such a very nice way. So, and we don't even have amazing almond toppings on. I believe it's like 30% damage resistance, so it's not a huge amount. You can honestly get that by just a couple substat damage resist toppings with the rest just being level 12. So it's not too hard to acquire that. But really the rest of our team, they're running the traditional cooldowns on Pure Vanilla and Cotton, critical toppings on Dark Cacao as I've almost always ran him, Wildberry doing almond setups for high damage resistance and being as tanky as possible for our main team. You can see that Dark Cacao is handling most of the shielded enemies in these waves. Cotton and Pure Vanilla are just handling most of the healing and damage reflection, taking care of the heals very quickly because of the scythe. I mean, after this boss, we'll stop and show the heals real quick that we've done. So as you can see right here, once the wave finishes and we go to healing done, we've got really good healing on both Pure Vanilla and Cotton. And the big reason you see that 1.6 million on Purple Yam is because of that Warrior Spirit, because the buffs do cycle through a rotation, and it heals him for almost 85% of his health. So it's a huge amount of healing done, and that's why you see that number there. Now as the stage goes on and we get to the higher waves, it's going to be more on Pure Vanilla and Cotton than it is going to be on Purple Yam. So you're going to see mostly damage focused on Purple Yam. Now, the reason I'm able to get through these waves without thinking, without micromanaging to different teams, just really comes from my upgrades between the guild buffs that I have, the lab upgrades that I have, the ascensions, the cookie bonds, all those buffs. They're all taking an effect of how far I'm going. However, I will say that if you do at least have this main team of Pure Vanilla, Cotton, Dark Cacao, Purple Yam, and Wildberry set up, you can get pretty far because that is a pretty core-powered team with the specific buffs that are happening right now and is able to handle a lot of the waves in most cases. I would say by the time you would be normally unlocking Alliance for the requirements that are to unlock it, if you run that team and have some good toppings on them, I would think you would at least be able to get to wave 12 without switching from them, maybe just a little bit further. So that is something to take in consideration as watching us go through these waves without any switching just because of the upgrades and specific buffs and bonds that we have. But I will be covering the switch out guide, which will be coming up in about 10 waves that we'll start switching out. And we'll start slowing things down to give better perspective of what's going on and what needs to happen. But really the main team is handling here, and honestly the most fun thing is that Purple Yam is just doing so good in so many of this situation. So if we pause again, 36 million damage by Purple Yam. Just absolutely tearing up the entire battlefield and handling all the waves with pretty good, pristine battle condition. And his health is not dropping too terribly either because of the damage resistance he's getting from his magic candy, which is making him at a high damage resistance level and what's making him so, well, pretty well suited for this setup. But his buffs are insane, just between the special buffs from Alliance mode season and the buffs that he's getting from the magic candy and the buffs he's getting from our team. There's just a lot going on for him. So as you can see here, Pure Vanilla is going to take a lot of damage from Rye Cookie, but we do end up getting quite a lot of our damage into Rye Cookie from our end, from both Purple Yam and Wild Berry and Dark Cacao. Pure Vanilla survives just long enough so that we don't have to activate the feather, so we are good to stay moving on without too much concern of that at the moment. Werewolf here is a pretty strong opponent, almost is able to take out our Purple Yam, but nonetheless, we're able to keep pushing forward. And our heals are just doing a good job, as always, from Pure Vanilla and Cotton Cookie. And their main focus here is just healing Purple Yam, since everyone else is almost full health. And then his Warrior Spirit activates, healing him very quickly. And then the buffs recycle back through again. Now, as we get to wave 41, we're going to be fighting the Latte Espresso combo. That's where you would probably be losing your main team, even if you had some high buffs, just because of the power that they have. But we're able to micromanage their team position because of Purple Yam here, and that's why we're able to skate through without too much issue. And then we will let them fight wave 42 and 43, and then at 44 we're going to be switching out. And I'll explain what and why. So we're going to slow it down here, and then we will be switching to our speed team for wave 44. So speed team, we're just going to be lighting up their whole battlefield as quick as possible, just so that they don't even have much of a chance to do too much damage to us. Now, we did lose Werewolf Cookie in the beginning there, so we did have to use the revive from our guild buffs to put Werewolf back there, but nonetheless, that was our best way to get through the wave without getting our main team completely annihilated, and so that we could continue the alliance waves without too much issues. As you can see here, you're still going to need either Twizzly or Dark Cacao up here because of the shielded enemies. This wave is a tough one. You should probably use a speed wave or a boss killing wave. Thankfully, our main team is able to handle it, mostly thanks to Purple Yam, but in most cases, you're going to want something like a speed team to handle that wave. This boss was pretty tough in the first beginning when the season came out, but yet again, Yam is just doing such a great job with the wave control that it's pushing through without too many issues. We're going to be switching again soon, come wave 52 for Blackberry, but we are continuing to push through the current waves and fighting the enemies with our main team just for now. So this is our little healing wave right here, and then we will slow it down as we are about to switch. Alright, so we switch to our T-Knight team to just take out Blackberry as quick as possible. And we only end up losing Sorbet there. Then we'll be switching back to our main section. Purple Yam pushing most of these enemies back, giving us the chance to continue the fight. We do finally lose Purple Yam, so this is as far as our main team is going here. We will let the battle carry out until we need to switch out, which currently we are fine. Continue on to wave 54. This is where we do need to switch because of the high healing from this wave. So Pumpkin Pie and Poison Mushroom lower that healing from them. It's still a rough battle, so you kind of got to micromanage multiple teams here to really get past it, but it is able to be done. And as you can see, Sparkling and Finance are the ones keeping our team alive on this side. And at this point, we're going to run this team just for a little bit until we need to switch again, which is going to be now. And I did not switch in time for the bonus to keep active, so that is a loss on my part, because we would have been able to, keeping it there. And this is, I believe, as far as I'm going to personally be able to get to, as I don't have enough buffs to get past this point. And I'm sure there are ways to do it. I think I've seen some guides of people that do use the speed team to do it, so it is doable. But really, it takes a lot of damage resistance to beat these high-level waves. So I'm just showing you without damage resistance how far you can get on most of them. There are a few of my cookies that do have DR on them, but not nearly as high as some of the other players in the game. And so we have a finishing score of 5.1 million at wave 55. So I really hope that this guide is helpful for you to do within the last few days of Alliance. The toppings, these are what I'm running on the main team. So as you can see, most of the focus is on damage and cooldowns, but hopefully you can at least get further just with these team setups. It's what's been working so far, and in the next 3 days, we're going to be getting the new season alliance. By the time this video posts, so it'll probably be about 2 days left. So I wish you the best of luck with your final scores, and may the odds be in your favor.